Hello there, Fire Nation. This is PK Kalaku, and welcome to Inspired Entrepreneur. Well, I'm very excited about my guest today, Khanyisa Maphanga, a very artistic and inspiring lady who's going to tell us about how she plans to take over the world of African creations. Khanyisa, welcome to Inspired Entrepreneur.
Hi, Paseka. Thanks very much for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's very exciting to have you here. I've been trying to get you in the studio for a while now. Could you just tell us, Khanyisa, maybe where you were born and what inspired you to be an entrepreneur?
I was born and brought up in Soweto, in Netherlands, and I grew up from a family who was selling. My grandmother was selling fat cakes.
Fat cakes.
Yes. And my grandmother's home was a very well-known house at in Netherlands Zone 6, where I grew up.
Yes.
And my grandmother never worked for anybody. She was self-employed, selling fat cakes.
Yes.
And after some time, when she retired from baking fat cakes, she opened a tech shop, a spaza shop.
So she grew.
Yes.
The business grew. She also moved from fat cakes
to
a full-fledged tech shop now.
Exactly. Okay. So after school, I used to release her and work at the spaza shop until late.
Interesting. And how old are you by then?
Then, I was very young because I was schooling. I was at high school. I was a teenager, 15, 16, 17.
Yes.
Yeah, so every day after school and on weekends, I used to work at my grandmother's tech shop. So after schooling, I worked for the insurance industry. I was in the insurance industry for more than 20 years.
But, sorry, Khanyisa, let's just hold it right there. I need to talk about your grandmother for a second.
Exactly.
So your grandmother never worked for any person. She's always been, hustling and juggling to make ends meet.
Exactly.
For you, the grandkids in the family.
Exactly.
Did you know by then that she was running a business, or for you it was just, no, Umakolo, she's just selling fat cakes?
I didn't know she was running a business. I had no idea. I was just a child.
Yes.
That my grandmother was just baking fat cakes and selling them to the public. And her business was very busy. It was booming. It used to be full at my grandmother's house because we were involved as well. Because before I went to school, I would wake up and clean and go to school, come back and finish where I left in the morning. So that because she was working with food and the house has to be clean.
So hygiene became very important.
Exactly, hygiene became very important. So no, I didn't even have an idea that is a business to her. That is a form of income. But from the money of selling fat cakes, she took me to good schools. Like my high school was at Immaculata High, which is a Catholic school, which was one of the best schools in Soweto. Exactly. So she, she managed to take care of us at home. And because I did not grow up at my mom's place, my grandma brought me up.
I think that's always the case, our mothers go seek employment elsewhere, and you end up being raised by your grandparents.
Exactly.
But also on that note, you say you lived with your grandmother when you were a teenager. How many were you guys as her grandkids?
There was 4 of us.
Okay.
But the other 2, my aunt's kids relocated, and then it was me and my cousin, who's also currently an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Spiwe Maphanga.
Okay.
So I think then the inspiration came there as well, because even like I said, after baking of fat cakes, there was a spaza shop in the yard where I was involved. I would engage like on weekends and after school. So, but then the entrepreneurship thing, I did not even think of it then until I grew up.
But then again, what interested you so much to be involved in the grandmother's fat cake business as well as the tech shop? Was it a matter of you didn't have a choice but to help your granny, because I can imagine she was an old person, she was probably tired, and you're coming back from school, you must take over. How was the transition?
Besides that, okay, I had no choice, because from the money that she was making, she was doing it for me as well. She was paying my school fees, she was buying me clothing from that money, and I was benefiting from it. Because I remember it was an inspiration as well, because I remember when I was in high school, I also used to sell sweets.
Wow. Okay.
In the school bus.
That's interesting.
And on Saturdays I would go.
So on your way to school, you're busy selling sweets?
Exactly.
Wow.
I used to sell, and even in class I used to sell. So sales, it's a passion on me. I'm very passionate with selling. I started it long time ago. Even when I was still in the corporate world working, I used to sell at work. When China Mall came and China Mall Main Reef opened, I knew China Mall like, you know what?
From corner to corner.
From corner to corner. I used to go stockists, handbags, and I will fill up my boot, and on Saturdays I'll be out there hustling. So I juggled between being a salesperson then and my corporate world. For a long time, and I also was doing network marketing.
Yes.
I sold
a very difficult business.
Exactly. Yeah, I sold Average Lane cosmetics. I sold honey jewelry and a whole lot. I just enjoyed selling. You know. So like I said, I've been in the corporate world for more than 20 years, but to be honest, I didn't like what I was doing.
I can imagine. I guess, you know, when you're a born entrepreneur, especially in your case, having been involved in your grandmother's business from a teenage age, and now you have to transit to working for someone else. You're not used to that. You're used to being flexible. But then I want to go back a bit though to your childhood as a teenager. I mean, I can imagine 15, 16-year-olds after school, they want to play with their friends, you know, maybe go jogging somewhere. But you have to come back from school, still do your homework, polish your shoes, and take care of the grandmother's business. Where did you find the time to play with other kids?
It was very minimal. Time for playing, for me, it was very minimal. I think I would play for 15 or 20 minutes. I grew up from a very disciplined family. My grandmother was very strict. I had chores that I have to engage with before I can even go play. And I knew that my playtime was very limited. So I didn't have much time to play, because if it was not helping with the house chores, I would be helping with the business chores. So I grew up in a very difficult environment, which I really appreciated now. It has groomed me and made me the woman I am today.
Amen to that. So, talking about your grandmother being a very strict person, or rather a very strict woman, what sort of lessons, I would say business lessons, that you think you learned from her?
I've learned to be independent, to be on my own, and not to depend on anybody else.
That's interesting.
Exactly.
Okay. And then when it comes to, I mean, you're a teenager, the question of money management, I can imagine that there are stock sweets in the tech shop, you just want to take and take files, all of those nice things.
Money management.
Were you ever tempted to maybe take some of the stock?
Not the stock as such, but you know, money, when it's lying there, you always, as a child, you'll be tempted, because you want to be like other kids after school. They're buying this and that, and there's the money, the pocket money that you're given at home, you might find it not enough. So money management is a problem. Even now, now that I've got my own business, I'm still trying to learn to get ways of managing cash. Because the cash flow management, it's very difficult. I'm telling you. Sometimes I feel like quitting, saying, you know what, I'm working so hard. I see the money is coming in, but I don't see where it's going. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, I would say in general, money management, it's a problem on its own, unless you've got somebody who will take you through it and how to do it. So I'm still learning steps on that.
Yeah, I guess it's It's a learning process.
It's a learning process,
But
yes.
also, Khanyisa, I'm assuming that you never took even 1 rand from the grandmother's side because you did.
I did.
That you knew, okay, I'm working in the grandmother's business because the grandmother has nothing but the best for us. One of them is selling you guys to the best schools. And of course, that
Like
money.
being a child, you know, temptation is there. I wouldn't say I didn't. I'll be honest with you, I did.
Did you ever confess to her that she noticed?
She noticed because she knew what was in stock in the spaza shop. She noticed, you know, exactly that my cash flow is not tying up.
Yeah. No, I hope the lessons that you learn from your grandmother are still applicable today in your business, considering the fact that you started this at an early age, even though you didn't know that you were running a business at the time. For you, it was just helping your grandmother sell fat cakes and running her spaza shop. You know, but fast forward to that, Khanyisa, so you become a bit older now, you finish high school. Did you do any formal education?
I know I was in the from high school, straight from high school. I started working, so I worked in the insurance industry as an intern.
Okay.
And I've studied the insurance courses, obviously within the industry.
Yes.
I did do the NQF5 with Unisa, although I did not finish
all
the levels.
To the face accreditation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Because insurance is all that I've known.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I've worked for good companies. I started my insurance career at Commercial Union. I went to Holland. I've worked for Regent. I've worked for Mutual and Federal. Yeah, I've just been changing insurance companies from one to another, but doing the same thing.
I can relate to that. I myself, when I used to work many years ago, I worked for a few companies, Mutual and Federal being one of them.
Oh, wow.
Line of Africa Insurance, the Teleshop Group.
Yes.
I'm sure you know they own the likes of Auto in General, Face for Women.
Oh,
blah,
okay,
blah, blah,
yes.
Blah. But there's a question that I'm dying to ask you. You finish high school, the tech shop is still there. The grandmother still there.
No,
She's still in the
my
tech shop.
grandmother passed away, and when I was in grade 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you're still pretty young.
I was still at school when she passed on because I still had to go to do my grade 11 and 12.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I was in grade 10 when she passed on.
No, condolences. But so the grandmother passes away, so the shop closes now.
Yes, because my aunt, I was living with my grandma and my aunt, my mom's younger sister, and my aunt was employed. She couldn't run the business. It was my grandmother's business. She was employed. So the business phased, and I also left my grandmother's house. I relocated. I had to go to boarding school.
Yes.
I went to Wandebele for 2 years.
Okay.
And so after my matric, I did not go back to Soweto. I went to live with my aunt in Wattville in Pinoni.
In the east end of
in the east end of Johannesburg.
Okay. No, I understand what you say, Khanyisa, because I can imagine the grandmother passes away, you're only a teenager, and you have to attend school. So there's no way you could run the shop full time and still get the time to focus on your schoolwork. So a decision had to be made to close the tech shop and the selling of fed cakes. How did that make you feel? Because I'm guessing that you were very close with your grandmother.
I was very close, very, very close to my grandmother. Like I said, she brought me up. I grew up under her presence.
Yes.
So life happens, and I had to also to move on with my own life.
Yes.
She's no longer there. But then, and thinking of how she brought me up, that made me realize the thing of being independent. So I moved on with life, and here I am today.
So your grandmother's legacy is continuing through
Exactly.
Khanyisa. I love the sound of that. So now you found yourself in the insurance business, you said, for more than 20 years. That's 2 decades. That's a very long time.
It is.
And I'm starting to think the business that you are in now compared to the insurance industry is 2 different things.
Yeah.
So, it's often given as an advice that if you're an aspiring entrepreneur, it's advisable that you start a business in the field that you are most knowledgeable in. So why did you not start something to do with insurance or other financial services?
Like brokerage and that?
Yeah, something like that, yes.
I didn't like it, much as I've done it for over 20 years. I've been in the short term for, let's say, maybe 18 years or so. Like I said, I've changed different companies.
Yes.
And I got bored. I got really bored because it's something that I did not like, reporting to somebody. I was always in trouble at work.
You hated structures, the reporting every day. Yes.
I was always in trouble because I didn't want to be walked all over. You know, clients have got tendencies of like, I pay the premiums, I pay your salary. And besides their actions of treating us who are giving them the service like that, they will make you feel like you're nothing. So I hated it. And the last 2 years in the insurance industry, I moved from the short-term side to the long-term side because now I wanted to be flexible because I've already started my business. And I was trying to juggle between...
Hold on a second there. When you say you already started a business, are we talking about your current business?
My current
that
business.
you are running now?
Yes.
All right.
My
so
current
you started part-time while still employed full-time.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I left the office-bound environment because I was office-bound, but I left because I wanted to be flexible. So I went to the to the long-term side, and then I joined Old Mutual as a financial planner. And I just wanted to get the experience of the other side, you know,
the long-term side.
Exactly. So I went to PFA as a personal financial advisor. And I did it for about 18 months, I would say. Being at work and juggling between my business.
So the business now, because at work, you are flexible now.
I was flexible,
So you can still attend to some
Exactly.
insurance clients at the same time. Push your business on the other side.
And PFA was very nice to me because they were only saying...
If I may just ask, what is PFA?
Personal Financial Advisor.
Okay,
That's
because you know, we cannot assume. I know what PFA is, but our listeners probably don't know it. So when you say PFA, I think it's best that we
elaborate.
PFA.
PFA is Personal Financial Advisor. I was employed by Old Mutual because of my experience in the short term. So I did it for about 18 months, and last year, September.
This is now 2017.
Last year, October, because I registered my business in 2015, October, and I started getting into it the beginning of 2016. So slowly but surely, I'm getting the stuff that I'm selling. Like you saw, I'm in the bead business, fashion, beaded accessories. So slowly but surely, my clientele is growing. I'm getting out there. I'm doing pop-ups. I'm selling online. My business is online, as you find me in the social media.
No, I think just hold right there. I think we'll get to the nitty-gritties about your business. Tell me about the name. I mean, your business name, Nowami Creations. Does the word Nowami have any meaning? What inspired you, encouraged you to call your business Nowami?
Okay, my business name is Nowami African Creations, but it's registered as Nowami Corporate. Okay, I've played around with my kids' names. My daughter.
Oh, it's inspired by the kids. Wow.
Okay, my daughter's name is Nontlantla. My grandchild is Owami. And my son is Mielani. So I took the first letters of their names. From Nontlantla, I took the N-O. And Owami, fortunately, happens to have her full name in there. And then the last two letters is M-I for Mielani, my son.
Wow. Interesting. Wow, that's some deep thinking right there. I see why you are in the creative environment now.
So, and even if you can see my logo, it says leaving footprints behind. And on my logo, you'll see there's a picture of a woman who is me, and you can see the footprints which I want to leave behind as a legacy.
So talking about the logo, do you believe that a business logo should it just be some weddings and artwork, or should it have a sense of a deeper meaning?
It must have
Because
a deeper meaning, according to myself.
Yes, listening to you, from the name Noami, it took a lot of thinking to get to the final name.
Exactly.
And I'm really, really glad that what you did around it and playing around with it. Now you're talking about the logo and it's your picture, leaving footprints behind. It's quite inviting. It's very thought-provoking for someone, because it's not just an artwork. It's not just a logo. It is clearly a legacy that you want to leave, probably for your kids, even your grandkids.
Exactly.
So how important do you think it is for a logo to have a sense of communication just by looking at it? Because your logo, I can tell, it has all of that.
It does have all of that. I'm very fortunate that the guy who did my logo paid attention to detail.
Yes.
He first asked me what does Noami mean.
Yes.
And he worked it out from there. And he asked me a whole lot of questions in a way that when he came out with the logo, I was like, wow, this is me. This is exactly what I want. And most of the times, because my company name is just like not a common name, people will ask me, what does Noami mean?
Yes.
Then I have to explain, like I'm saying, and then I will take them through my logo and tell them that this woman you see in here, it's me.
Yes.
And the footprints, these are my kids' footprints, because I want them to step where I've stepped when I'm normal. I need to leave a legacy for them.
More like the grandmother did to you.
Exactly.
I understand. I get it. So Noami, full-time in business since 27, you've been juggling it between it and your corporate work. Finally decided to leave your corporate work. I'm sure that was not an easy decision.
I promise you it wasn't. It was last year, this time.
Yes.
In August. August is a busy month. It's Women's Month.
Yeah, in South Africa.
Yes, in South Africa.
Yes.
We having women's events, and women wants to dress up.
Yes.
And in my business, I've got everything that woman wants.
Yes.
I've got earrings. I've got accessories. I've got earrings.
Very beautiful ones
I've
yourself.
got bangles. I've got beaded sandals. I've got handbags. I've got everything that a woman wants.
One-stop shop for all women.
Exactly.
I get it.
And then in this month, last year, I had a challenge whereby IDC, is it IDC?
Yes, the Industrial Development Corporation.
Yes, they approached me, they found me, they approached me, they wanted...
Hold on a second right there. You know, the IDC, the Industrial Development Corporation, as entrepreneurs, we normally go to them. They would want business plan, they would want financials, they would want this and that, all letters of different, And then they approached you.
They approached me, they wanted me to make 500 or 600, I can't remember a number, of pens, beaded pens for their staff.
Yes.
And it was a huge challenge because of the time frame.
Why was it a huge challenge?
It was my first corporate gifting, big business that big order that
and you're not expecting it.
I'm not expecting it.
Yes.
I'm still at Old Mutual. I still have to service my clients. I still have to meet my target. And I'm like, I can do this.
500
pens, beaded pens.
At the time, at Noami, are you still working alone? Do you have a
I'm working
personal team
alone.
helping
I
out?
don't have anyone that's helping me except the people that I source from.
Yes.
Because I don't have time to sit and make and get involved. I source. But I've got specific people who does this and that for my
also,
business.
you had a network of people who could actually deliver on the client's order.
Exactly. I always make an example with a restaurant that if you are a restaurant owner, the restaurant is your business.
Yes.
You need chefs.
Yes.
You need waitresses.
Yes.
You need people who will clean. You
Yes.
need the people who will wash the dishes. You need you see all that.
Yes.
So like I own the business. It's my business.
Yes.
I've got to run it.
Yes.
I can't be getting involved with making stuff. Or as much as I do have an idea of what I want in my business, but I don't have time because I need to. My business is online.
Yes.
I'm always on the phone in a way that it upsets my mother. She doesn't visit me that often because I'm always on I'm always on two phones, because there's inquiries, there's questions that I need to do, there's to answer to, there's quotes that I need to give out. So August to me was a crazy month because September, it's Heritage Month.
Yes.
It's wedding seasons are flowing.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Yes.
So last year this time I started to get hectic, and after getting that big order, I wanted the order. I couldn't say no to it.
Absolutely, you can't say no to business. You'll see later how
exactly.
you deliver. Yes.
And after I've calculated it and have seen how much I'm going to get out of it, numbers, and I was like,
yes,
you know what? I can't do this. That month of August, at PFA, if you did not meet your target for the month, you don't get paid. You don't get a salary.
But you had no such problems at the time.
I was like,
you had an income stream from the business.
Exactly.
The client that has just put a big order.
Exactly.
Even though you had minor stress.
I knew that
how you're going to deliver.
I knew that month I was not going to get a salary because I did not meet my target.
Yes.
And when I looked, why did I not meet my target? It's because I think my focus has shifted
to the business.
Yes. And I had to sit down and say, I need to make a decision now. I need to make a decision because now I'm failing. I can't do the two. If I focus on doing the old mutual services, my business is going to fail.
Yes.
So it was only one night when I woke up and I said to myself, I quit. One day I said I quit.
Did you sleep that night?
I didn't.
I can imagine.
It was a difficult decision that I took. And I woke up the next morning, I cleaned my laptop and everything. I did not go to the morning meeting because every morning that will where we're giving feedback, how many sales you did yesterday, how many clients you saw. I did not go. I just sat there. My boss came and said, why are you not coming to the meeting? I just said, I'm not feeling well. I did not sleep yesterday. I'm just not okay. And after the meeting, I said, Lawrence, can I see you? He says, yeah, I could sense there's something. And I was not dressed appropriate.
I can imagine.
Just to give him the idea.
But you know, also, Khanyisa, I'm just rewinding my mind a little bit here. You get this big order from the Industrial and Development Corporation to do 5 trousers, 500 rather.
500 pens, billiard pens.
Yes. At the time, you're working alone, but there is some important knowledge I derive from that you partnered with someone, you had a network.
Yes.
So how do you think partnerships are important to have in business? Do you think they are necessary to have in business?
They are very necessary. You're talking collaboration.
Collaborations, yes.
Exactly. They are very important because there's things that you won't be able to do alone.
Yes.
And by the way, my friend there is my business partner.
Yes.
We've collaborated. We're doing business together. He does events, but we'll get there later. Collaboration is very important because I find out that there are things that you cannot do on your own.
Absolutely.
So in order for you to succeed, you need to partner with somebody who will help you.
Yes.
And like at the moment, why I'm saying it's important, I am based in Joburg, in Boksburg.
Okay.
And the people that are making stuff for my business, 80% of them are based in KZN.
Wow.
And 20%.
That's a very long distance from Johannesburg to KZN.
Exactly. Yeah. And 20% of them are based in Mpumalanga.
Yes.
I'm a perfectionist.
Hold on, are you saying now to me that as far as your business is concerned, here we are sitting in Johannesburg, there is no one that you could have collaborated with or rather partnered with? You had to go all the way to KZN and Mpumalanga, which are 2 different provinces.
Remember, when you get into business, you learn, you baby steps.
Yes.
You crawl. You learn to get to know how you want your things, who can do it better, who can do it best, where can you get it better, where can you get it to the way up to the way you want it.
The standard,
the quality,
yes.
exactly.
Yes.
So I've done my research And I found those people, and I found them where I found them in KZN.
But I think I agree with you on that note, because having looked at your business and what it represents, I fully understand why you had to collaborate with a lot of business, especially in the KZN region.
Exactly.
That part I understand. But one thing that I also want to discuss that you sort of touched on earlier on is not having the time to do everything yourself and realizing the importance of good partnerships, collaborations, and also putting the right people in the right jobs at the right time. There's this notion of, as an entrepreneur, for example, you need to work on the business.
Exactly.
Not in the business.
Exactly.
Let me tell you why. Because an entrepreneur, you can't sit, in the office. You need to be out there getting the business.
Exactly.
Once you get the business, then you need to have people and structures and processes in place of people who are going to execute all of that. So was that a challenge for you when you started, especially with this order from the IDC? It's a big order. I don't know at the time.
And my first big order.
You already had connections in KZN, yes or no? I don't know. Can you just take us through that? Did you have the connections, or you have to now sit on the phone? Oh my goodness. Who am I going to call?
I had connections, but I had not done pens for the corporate company as gifts.
Yes.
And I did not know the right person, but I knew that from the people that I'm sourcing from, I will find one.
Yes.
That order went so wrong in a way that I've learned from it. The time frame and the number of pens they wanted and the turnaround times.
Yes.
I got sick from doing that order.
What time did they give? How much time did they give?
They gave me 2 weeks, which was
2 weeks.
2 weeks, which was very little. And
that's a very short period of time.
Exactly, and there was so much pressure. I think in that 2 weeks, I went down to Durban
There's
twice.
pressure. I get you. I understand.
There was so much pressure.
And you don't want to turn down this business. You want this business.
I don't want to turn down because my supplier agreed that I will meet it. I will do it.
She made sure that they will deliver.
She made sure they will deliver on time, but they failed me. And the other thing is, in my business, I've learned to fall in love with the client, not with the product.
How do you do that? How do you fall in love with your client?
I give more interest to the client more than the product.
Okay.
Because I want to build relationships and long-lasting relationships.
Yes.
But how do I do that? I need to pay more attention into detail of what the client wants.
Yes.
And it's up to me, much as I'm sourcing, that when that product gets to me, I need to do QA. I need to do quality check to make sure that it's what the client asks, it's what the client wants. Item by item.
One by one.
So the first batch of pens that I received 200 pens.
This is after how long now? Because we have 2 weeks.
After a week. And I think I've received 100 and something.
Yes.
And I still have got the whole lot, 300 too.
Yes.
When I received them, I was all excited. But when I checked them, the quality was
terrible.
And the guys were crying, saying, you know what, Khanyisa, I said, you said. And in order for them to work day and night, I have sent a lot of money from what I got from IDC.
Yes.
I gave them 50%
so
of
that
it.
there are no complaints.
So that there are no complaints.
Yes, they have everything, they've got all the stock, they've paid their stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but now, okay, I did get the pens, and there was so much pressure, and the order went wrong, the order was delayed, and the lady from IDC was on my case. It was just a mess. I was panicking. I had to go to IDC and apologize, but eventually at the end, I did get to 500 pens, but unfortunately, not on the set day that time frame.
How long did it take you to get to deliver the order?
The
correct qualities.
The correct qualities were delivered after Heritage Day, when they wanted to give them to the staff members on Heritage Day. Unfortunately,
wow.
But then at the end, they did understand and all that. And in that September month last year, that's when I said, I'm done with insurance.
Yes.
I'm done with insurance,
Yes.
and I'm going solo now.
It's time to follow your passion.
Yeah, it's time to follow my calling,
Yes.
my passion. And yeah, I left the insurance industry and I put my focus here. It was not easy. It was not easy.
I can imagine.
Thinking of, I'm not going to get a salary. How am I going to survive? My business is new. I got sick, literally, physically sick. I got literally and physically sick.
The business journey, it can be very lonely. And when you mentioned that, I need to ask you this now. Do you have a mentor? Did you have a mentor when you were deciding now I'm going full-time into business? Do you have someone to hold your hand?
I did it on my own. I had no mentor. I was just doing research, and thanks to Infinity Learning,
What's Infinity Learning?
Infinity Learning, they give workshops on how to run a business from start to finish.
Entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Yes.
If maybe one of our listeners is interested in knowing more about Infinity Learning, how does one go about inquiring about them, and what sort of people are they looking for?
They are looking for entrepreneurs. And it's
even if someone just wants to be a business person.
Exactly.
You have to have a business.
Yes.
Okay.
And the sponsor is from BEE, Black Empowerment, Black Business Empowerment Company. And then I've traveled the journey with them from last year, and from there my focus has changed. Okay. I'm very positive.
So are they sort of what do you call this, incubation, training development?
They are a training development program.
Okay.
They are on Facebook.
Yes.
That's where I also found them.
Yes.
Even now that I've been traveling with them, yes, they now invite me. Even tomorrow, I've got a workshop with them.
Okay.
I've got a workshop with them. They are very good. They've helped me in many ways. Okay. I've even now did a workshop on money management with them.
Absolutely. That's
customer
good.
Service. Exactly. Yes. They give a lot of workshops.
In fact, Khanyisa, I just wanted to ask you, still on Infinity though, it's a training program they cover. How long is the training?
Normally, their trainings are from on daily basis. Not on. Sometimes their trainings are 2 to 3 days. Okay. Every month, there's something different that they are giving.
But it's different modules or other courses? Maybe this week or today is a course on marketing.
It's different courses that they give. Exactly.
Administration, human capital.
Exactly. All those that you're mentioning, they give. So every month and every day there's a workshop. They are here in town, in at number 84 Market Street.
So would you say, having discovered and attended this training at Infinity has helped to grow your business?
A lot. And my fears of being independent in the business are gone, because I know where my mindset is and where my focus is.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, then my journey on my own and going solo started last year.
Yes.
And October was my first month
full time into
business, because I left in September, and I can never say I regret the decision that I made. And
there's no turning back now.
Although I had some fears, yes, and there was a time where I was like, I think I need to go back to corporate. I'm job hunting, and but then when I look at the involvement on my own.
Let me just ask you right there, Khanyisa. You said now there were a time where like, I'm hanging my boots, I cannot do this anymore. Maybe it's time I go back to my 9 to 5. What sort of challenges to this day at Noami are you facing? It could be maybe in terms of business expansion, growth, access to market, maybe
access to market. Access to market, it's not a problem.
Yes.
It wasn't a problem.
Yes.
Because there's social media, there's Instagram, there's Facebook.
So you said you capitalize more on social media because your business is online.
Yes.
So and I guess visuals play a very significant role in your business.
Yeah, and brown sense, you know about brown sense?
Yes, yes.
I got more exposure in brown sense.
Yes.
And I do the brown sense market every month.
Yes.
I got a lot of clients from brown sense.
Yes.
And brown sense as well has given me more exposure.
Yes.
Because they've got their own platforms of marketing and advertising.
Yes.
So through brown sense, I'll say my clientele has grown massively in a way that I still look back and I say I don't believe that this is where I am from where I started.
You wanted to quit 3 months ago.
I think it was the fear of the unknown, not knowing if I will make it as I've gone solo.
Yes.
But from where I was to where I am now, I'm not going back.
I love the sound of that.
I'm not going back.
Amen to entrepreneurship.
Exactly.
Yes.
Currently, as we speak, I'm working on opening my pop-up store at my yard.
Store.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm going to open a pop-up shop.
This is now in Boxback.
In Boxback.
Yes. Why Boxback? Why there? I mean, you can come to Johannesburg CBD. I think there's a place called Fashion District. There's Maboneng.
Competition.
There's also in Melville. I forgot what they call it.
Competition.
Or something like that.
Competition.
But competition, is it not healthy for
business? It is a healthy
because
competition.
It makes you work a bit harder and become more creative. So you can't run away from competition forever at some stage.
Exactly. But this side, there's a lot of people who are doing the same business like myself. Yeah.
Oh.
So in the East Range, I've realized that there isn't a lot of us who are doing this business.
Right.
And the demand, it's a whole lot.
Right.
Because I've checked where I am in Windmill Park.
Yes.
I'm surrounded by
Mill Park.
Windmill Park.
Oh, Windmill Park.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm close to Vosloorus.
Yes.
Don Park.
Yes.
Klepochi.
Yes.
Sunward Park.
Yes.
Alberton.
Yes.
Leondale.
Yes.
That's where I'm getting
most of the East End.
Exactly. I'm getting my clients there. My clientele has grown from that area. As I'm talking to you, sitting with you here, I'm doing. I've got 6 weddings that I need to do, counting. And one of the weddings, the client is in Kimberley. She found me on social media, and her wedding is going to be big because she gave me such a massive order. So I'm not only focused in East Rand. I've got clients outside East Rand.
But for now, it makes sense for you to open this pop-up store in the East Rand.
Yes.
Simply because of the current clientele that you have built,
It's
and obviously the prospect that are for future. So you decided, okay, let me open up a pop-up store.
Exactly.
In my area, there's too much competition in downtown Johannesburg.
Yes.
But also, I'm thinking here, you've got very beautiful products. I've seen most of them online. But also, on the competition subject, I'm sure there's a thing or two that your competitor does not do. That you can now say, okay, I'm going to go next door and sell next to him or her, and I'll still get clients, but business will still flourish. Why not do it?
I've done that. I get a lot of people approaching me who wants to be in business.
Yes.
I've recently empowered a woman who's in the West Rand of Rodiport. She used to be my client.
Yes.
And she used to buy from me everything.
When you say empowered, can you just go into detail? What do you mean empowered?
Okay, she's self-employed. She's employed.
Yes.
She's got her 9-to-5 job.
Yes.
But she's very passionate of what I'm doing.
Yes.
She was my client.
Okay.
But now, I said to her, okay, what made me empower her was that she would buy items from me and come back for the same items the next month. And I would ask her, but you bought this last
Yeah,
month.
why
Why buy it again?
For a friend or
I say,
yes.
you know what? Most of the things that I buy from you, when I'm wearing them, people take them off from me, so I resell them to them. And I was like, oh, why don't you come on board, join me? I mean, the world is so broad. You can do this business.
Yeah, I mean, we have 55 million people in South Africa.
Exactly.
And also your business online, so you're not geographically restricted. You
exactly.
Can someone in Kenya, can be someone in New York. There are no boundaries. Right?
Exactly. Yes. So we sat down with her, and I gave her some stock. I said to her, when you're ready, come, I will show you the way. Yes. Nobody showed me, but I'm willing to show you. And I showed her the way. She came, she bought stock from me, and like in 2 weeks time she called me and said, Kanye, my stock is finished. And now she's gone big. She's on her own. She's doing well. 2 weeks ago, I took her to my suppliers.
She would not be there today had you not last year decided that, you know what, insurance has been good. I've learned so much, but it's time to move on now.
Exactly.
You see now, I'm also thinking that 3 months ago, you went through a stage of say, hey, business, I didn't know it was this tough, I wanted to quit.
Exactly.
But now your business is growing, Khanyisa, and there's this woman, this lady that you say that you gave her a platform and you empowered her. She's now running
the same business,
selling your products.
Exactly.
So I think you as an individual are starting to get a sense of meaning in running a business, because at some stage it has to surpass. Business is about money, don't get me wrong.
Exactly.
Every entrepreneur is in business to make money. That's the first thing. Not to create employment. We get it wrong. I mean, people say I'm in business to create employment. Okay, create employment. How are you going to pay these people come month? And
if you don't have money,
you're not rendering a service or you're not selling a product. The first thing is money.
Exactly.
And then the business obviously will grow. And then once the business grow, you start to have less time. Then you have to employ people to help you in areas where they are good at. And that comes with remunerating them come month end. Not to employ them, because I mean, how can you employ them if you don't have money to pay them? But at the same time, I'm thinking as a startup, vision. Vision is very important, especially also with the people that you collaborate with, because you mentioned people in KZN, people in the Mpumalanga area.
And in Kenya, I saw.
In Kenya also.
Yeah, I sell accessories in Kenya, from Kenya.
Yes.
Sandals and accessories.
Yes.
So yeah, networking is broad.
Talking about Kenya and the international market, where do you see Noami, let's say in 2 years' time? Because you already tapped the Kenyan market.
I'm 2 years now in business. My vision, seeing myself in the future, I want to see myself having Noami African Creations, having branches, like saying, I've got my pop-up store in my yard. I want to see myself having another store somewhere else, not maybe within the Gauteng province, out there, because I recently have supplied a lady who's in Nelspruit, Swaziland. She wants to start the same business. She approached me and she ordered a whole lot of stock that she's going to start that side. So,
yes.
Yeah.
No, but why a store? Because your business is currently online, right?
The reason why
the need for a store?
The need for a store is that some people don't believe in pictures. They need to feel and touch and see the product.
Yes.
That is very important, because I've realized that somebody can order earrings seeing them that they are red. When she gets to the real product, it's orange.
It's orange or pink.
Or pink.
Yes.
So the need for another need for a store is that, okay, I've got products in my house, but the traffic that is now becoming so much, people coming to my house, I rather have a special and specific place to work at, because it's very important to get to see, feel, and touch the product.
I can relate with you on that one. When you buy a book, it's one thing to see it on the internet, but I always get a sense of meaning when I walk into exclusive books, have my rebels, and touch a book. You can read the book as a PDF online, but it's not the same
as when you read
the
physical copy.
Yeah, so I guess there there are things that we sell in business that you can't just make a decision based on what you see online.
Exactly.
You have to touch and feel.
You have to touch and feel the product, because on many occasions, like you'll order something online and when it gets to you, it's not the same as what you've seen. So that's my need currently of having a pop-up shop where people will walk in and see the products physically and feel and touch and see the quality of them.
So in 2 to 3 years time, how many, not only pop-ups, including pop-ups, maybe brick and mortar store do you think Noami will own or rather manage?
My goal is to own 5.
In about 2 years time?
In about 2 years time.
Okay.
Because in the rate that I'm going now, my clientele is growing massively.
And then these 5 shops or other stores, are they going to be in South Africa only, or maybe you have a market in Kenya now? Are you looking at Kenya, maybe Swaziland?
Exactly. I need to source out. I need, to get out there, because I've seen the need. I've seen the demand. I've seen, I'm sourcing my items from KZN, but you won't believe me when I tell you that I've got, because of social media, I've got clients who are in KZN who order stuff from me, and I won't say to them, but hello, this is in your destiny.
So now you've got someone sitting in Newcastle or Pietermaritzburg
who orders from me.
They order from you online.
Yes, and I
courier stuff to them.
I courier to them.
Isn't that a challenge in your business, having to maybe courier stuff almost every day? How does it affect your business?
It doesn't, because I've got time. But I'll tell you now that I courier stuff out every single day.
Wow.
I courier stuff every single day. Like on Saturday we had a women's event.
Yes.
But before I went to go to the event, in the morning I had to start at Postnet and courier stuff.
Yes.
And it's urgent stuff that was going to Maphanga. Yesterday I had to courier stuff that's going to Eastern Cape.
So couriering stuff has become part of to-do list every day.
Couriering stuff is something that I do. Okay, I've now had a day plan. I've planned my day.
Yes.
My Mondays are my off days.
Yes.
But I don't get off, like literally off. That's when I sit and do my orders and pack them, and then the Tuesdays it's my market day. That's where I meet with the Mpumalanga crew, the Mpumalanga and the Ndebele mamas on Tuesdays, and I spend a lot of time with them, like 4 to 5 hours.
Wow, Khanyisa, I'm literally out of words. Your story is very inspiring. I just remember from the moment we started to have a conversation, you telling me about your grandmother and how you were brought up. I can clearly see the woman that you are today. It's a true reflection of the values that she instilled in you, and clearly the way you're running your business today. You learned a lot from the lessons that she instilled into you since you were a teenager. But I am dying to know right now, running a business is not really easy. It looks fancy from the behind, from outside. What inspires you? What makes you to wake up every day and say, even though it's not easy out there, I'm going to wake up and conquer the world? What inspires you as an entrepreneur?
The passion that I have in what I do.
The passion.
I love what I'm doing. I'm very passionate with what I do. And I'm telling you, I look forward to every day. Every day it's new. Because I know that every day I'm going to meet a new client.
Yes.
So my inspiration is on the loving of the work that I'm doing.
Yes.
If you're not passionate in what you do, then you won't be successful and you won't do it right. As I told you that when I was in the insurance industry, I was always in trouble because I did not like what I was doing.
There was no passion.
There was no passion. I was working for the salary.
But you had to meet and meet.
Exactly. I was working for the salary, and I was working for somebody.
Yes.
So now I'm working
and you
for
got
me.
Also.
Exactly.
Yes.
So now I'm working for me, and I'm passionate with what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. I love it so much. I can manage my time. I can plan my day. And yeah, that's what inspires me more, the passion.
Passion.
I love what I'm
So
doing.
you need to be passionate of whatever business that you're going to get into.
Exactly, because entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted.
It's not.
It's
not. Now, Khanyisa, to our guests, where can people find you? Where can people find out more about Nawami African Creations?
Okay, physically I'm based in Boxback in Windmill Park.
Yes.
And then on social, I've got on Facebook.
Yes.
My handle is at Nawami African Creations.
Nawami African Creations on Facebook.
Yeah, and my Instagram handle as well is Nawami African Creations.
Okay.
So that's where people can find me.
You're not on Twitter?
I don't tweet.
And then no YouTube channel?
I don't have a YouTube channel. It's only Instagram and Facebook.
Well, Khanyisa, let me thank you so much for coming to our studios and having a chat with me. I am truly honored to have you in our midst today. So, Khanyisa Maphanga, thank you so much and all the best. I wish you all the best for business in the future.
Thanks very much, Paseka, for
See
having
you
me.
up there.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye. Well, it has been another enlightening episode of Inspired Entrepreneur. And thank you so much to our guest for coming and sharing the knowledge with us. Yeah, you can catch us live on Global Conference Television. Thank you. See you next time.